the last question of the day here. All right, so I think in question substitution. So here we're going to be using a different technique, and we're going to be using, I don't really know the name of the technique, but I'll describe to you what it is about, okay? So it's not a substitution technique, okay? So like I said before, we have to find the point of intersection between these two line equations. And so we're going to be using a different technique. So first of all, we're going to line up our system of equations here, okay? So we're going to line them up like this. And we're going to add them or subtract them. We're going to subtract them together, right? So the goal of our subtraction is to get rid of one of our variables, okay? So we're going to transform our first equation here. So I'm going to label this 1 and 2. So for 1, we're going to multiply both sides by 2. So 2x, okay. Let me do this first. X minus 2y equals 3. So this is equivalent to saying 2 times x minus 2y times 2 times 3. So these two are equivalent. I just scaled them up using the factor of 2. So we get 2x minus 4y equal to 6. Okay, so now we're going to label this 3, and we're going to sub 3 into system. Okay. So we're going to take this whole scaled up system of linear equation. We're going to sub it into 1. Okay. So we get here 2x minus 4y equals 6. So 3 and 1 are equivalent. I just scaled them up. And we have 2x minus 3y equals 9. All right, so now if we subtract these together, we see that we get rid of our x term, right? So 2x minus 2x is 0, minus 7y equals to negative 3. Oh, this should be plus. So it's going to be negative y equal to negative 3. And we now know that y equals to 3. Okay, so this is going to be 4. Now all we need to do is sub 4 back into one of our equations and solve for x, right? So let's sub 4 into 1. And what do we get? We get x minus 8 equals 3, or x equals 11. And so like we evaluated in the beginning, we see that these two equations are line equations. So there's only going to be one possible point of intersection between these two. So now we have recognized, oh, we only have one solution, so this must be trending towards the correct direction, right? And if you really wanted to double check, you can sub in x and y into both of the original equations and see that they satisfy the equation. Okay, but we're not going to do that, so we're just going to write our concluding statement. 11 and 3 is the solution to our system of equations. Okay. So this is the alternative method of instead of substitution. And so in the end, there are technically 3 methods of which you can solve system of equations. One, you can use a substitution method, which I taught in question number 5 or 6. You can also graph the 2 lines and just visually identify where they intersect, and that will be your solution. Or number 3, you can use this system of equations cancellation kind of technique to find your solution. And going back to this technique, so when you're evaluating and when you're trying to figure out how to get rid of one variable, you just have to realize, okay, so which variable is easier to get rid of, right? So in this case, it will be kind of hard to get rid of the y variable because you have to multiply both equations by a factor, right? So the closest factor that will be common to both system 1 and equation 1 and equation 2 would be 6, right? So we'll have to multiply equation 1 by 3 and equation 2 by 2 to get 6y and 6y, right? By doing that, you have a lot more work, right? So instead, I multiplied only equation 1 by 2 to get 2x minus 2x. And by doing so, I was able to find our coordinates easier and faster. So the junior tutor here, they used substitution instead, which is technically this is also valid, and they came up with the same solution. Okay, yeah, I'm being stupid. Sorry about that. 3 times 2 is 6, not 8. I must have was looking at this 4. Okay, so this be 9. So actually be 9. Okay, sorry about that. So it'll be 9 and 3. Okay, so this solution is correct. All right. Okay, so that concludes today's lesson. I covered 11 questions surrounding algebra, complex numbers, and a little bit of mathematics. So if you have any other issues with your homework or tests or assignments, please submit them through OneClass and we'll get to them as soon as possible. I hope you guys learned something today, and I wish you guys a good evening. Goodbye, guys.